Hello and happy homecoming week from NIU. It is an exciting time to be a Huskies fan, so I'm happy to welcome you to NIU Weekly. Once again, Terry Bonadonna with you, and shocked to realize we are already halfway through the 2024 football season. 6 games in, the Huskies are 4-2, coming off back-to-back wins as they knocked off Bowling Green on Saturday down in Ohio, and now another big game coming up as Toledo rolls into town this Saturday at 2:30 start time for the homecoming game. So a lot of exciting things going on at NIU this week. We're going to talk to Coach Thomas Hammock about some of those things in just a few minutes. We're also going to talk about where the team is sitting right now, 6 game into the season. We're really going to break down that game against Bowling Green this past Saturday and talk about all the positives that came out of that big win. And then we're going to turn the page and get ready for a big week, not only for the Toledo game on Saturday, but it is as homecoming week, a big week for Huskies Invest. It's the week of giving this week. So let's talk a little bit about homecoming before we welcome our couple of guests on today's show. NIU is celebrating its 117th homecoming this year. The fun starts on Thursday night. You can head downtown for the Down Home in downtown DeKalb homecoming block party. It starts at 4 p.m. It's free to attend. There will be a kids zone there, a classic car show, the March of the Huskies featuring Huskie student athletes, the Huskie marching band, cheerleaders, and silverettes, plus food trucks, discounts at local businesses, and there is going to be more if it's possible to fit more into that. And then make sure to get a good night's sleep Thursday because we're coming back and we're doing it all again on Friday. Friday is the NIU Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony at the Holmes Student Center. Everyone is invited, and the event is free to attend. So make sure to stop by. You can visit with the inductees, the Hall of Fame committee, and NIU athletics coaches beginning at 5 p.m. The official ceremony will begin at 7 o'clock. Then Saturday is the big homecoming football game. The game starts at 2:30, so that means the yard will be opening at 11:30 on Saturday. The kids zone, a live band, vendors, and a whole lot more going on out there. We also have a very special opportunity from Victor E. Threads. That is just the yard location, but coming out to the yard, you can purchase one of the Jordan Lynch or Michael Turner Heroes jerseys, and you will be entered for a chance to receive a jersey that has been signed by Jordan Lynch or Michael Turner themselves. So it's a great deal, a great chance to have a signed jersey of one of your favorite Husky greats. We've got more coming up to talk about as far as homecoming is concerned, but I've left Thomas Hammock waiting long enough, so we're going to welcome him in right now as we bring on our guests on today's episode of NIU Weekly. All right, I'm happy to welcome in right now head coach Thomas Hammock of the victorious Huskies from this past weekend at Bowling Green. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It was a good win against Bowling Green the other day. It was tough conditions. The lightning delayed the start of the game. The team started warming up, stopped, started again, stopped, started again. And finally, we were able to get the game in. You suffered a couple of injuries in the game. There were a few players missing. So it certainly was not an easy victory for you, but you were able to pull it out. What did you think of your team's performance?
Well, I like the way we started the game. You know, a lot of times in practice, our players talk about putting the ball down. And so we'll start practice with just put the ball down, go offense versus defense. So not only were we ready for that situation with the lightning delay, but we were prepared. And our kids were excited to go out there and play and play as well as they can play for 60 minutes.
Let's start with the running game a little bit to start with the offense. Gavin Williams had a really strong performance with no Ontario Brown, no Jalen Poe. You knew that he was a good player coming in. You knew that he was, a veteran who's got some experience, big-time college football. This was the first time this year that he was asked to really shoulder the load. How important has he been both on and off the field?
I mean, he's been critically important for our offense, not only what he does with the ball in his hands, but what he does when the ball is not in his hands. He's a great third down back. He protects the quarterback. He gives us a chance to operate the offense in a high manner. And he's a very valuable member to our offensive game plan.
Talk about the quarterback a little bit. Ethan Hampton went down with an injury in that first half. Josh Holst came on, and he was able to lead the team to a couple of scoring drives in the second half. It seemed like he was getting a little bit better as the game went on. It seemed, from the sideline, like he was gaining confidence a little bit as the game went on, his first real chance to play. What did you think about his performance, number one? And also, just what does he bring to the table in general as a redshirt freshman?
Yeah, I think obviously we played him a little bit in UMass. We gave him a drive. I think that proved very beneficial for this last game because obviously when you get thrown into the mix earlier in the game and have to play more extended plays, you have to be ready for that moment. And I thought Josh was ready. He was prepared. He had a great week of preparation this week. And, he's only going to get better. He's a redshirt freshman that hasn't played much. He was on the scout team last year. And now he's just getting indoctrinated to what college football is all about. And with young players, they grow so much faster with reps and experience.
Yeah, how important is that to get the reps? I mean, obviously, it didn't happen the way you wanted it to. You never want to see a player go down with an injury, but it is important for Josh Holt's development that he does get some game action. So, how big was it for him to be able to get that action?
Yeah, I mean, it's invaluable, right? When you get an opportunity to go out there and make a mistake and learn from your mistakes and try to, stop them from happening again, that's when you have true growth, right? You can only grow so much on the practice field and not have an opportunity to do it in the game. And I think for him to be able to go back and watch the tape and see some things that he can do differently is only going to help his development as a football player.
Let's talk defense for a little bit because I mean the defense has been so good. We're almost taking it for granted at this point. They gave up the touchdown on the first drive of the game, and then nothing the rest of the way. What was so impressive about that performance on Saturday?
I thought our players really played physical, really changed the line of scrimmage. I thought they were, anxious to get back there and make plays, and that's what you want to see. They playing on one accord and doing a great job on all three levels of the defense with communication, tackling, doing the things necessary from a situational standpoint to stay ahead. And I really been pleased with the way our players are playing.
The defensive line was really impressive on Saturday. Skylar Gill-Howard, in particular, was honored by the MAC earlier this week for his really impressive game. He's come on really strong this year. He's a transfer player. He's come on and become a captain for your team. How have you seen him develop into that team leader?
Yeah, no, he's done a phenomenal job just from his growth. I talked to him in the springtime about being a leader um, for our football team. I didn't think he handled it well in the summer, but I think he grew from those moments of learning how to be a leader, what it takes, the discipline that it takes, the focus that it takes, and how you have to be the same the same guy every day. And I think he's done that, and he's one of the best leaders we've had in this program since I've been here.
Third down defense was again really impressive on Saturday. You only gave up one third down conversion. Right now, you're leading the nation in third down percentage defensively, and it's really not even close with the rest of the country. How have you been able to do that? What's been the key to getting those third down stops?
Well, I think our players want to get off the field. You see they raise their level of urgency on third down, especially when we have in some third and longer situations, and they trying to work together to get off the field and get the ball back to the offense. And when you have a group of guys that are anxious to do that, you have the type of success they're having at this moment. So hopefully, we can continue that over the second half of the season.
You talking about the defense wanting to give the ball back to your offense. The offense had the ball in a couple of key situations this past week. One in particular, you had fourth down in your own territory. You decided to go for it. It was a little bit more aggressive than we've seen so far from you this year. What led to that decision?
Well, I just thought we needed a change. Change the thought process. Give these guys a chance to make a play and trust them. And I was happy with the result. We went for one early in the game and didn't get it, but we got to continue to try to find ways to score points and stay on the field. And I thought in that particular moment that was an opportunity to do that.
You did also have some situations later in the game where you were able to turn some of those fourth downs into field goals. Cannon Whittle hit 3 field goals in the game. Field goal kicking this season has been a little bit up and down. It's been really good at times. There's been a little bit of a struggle sometimes, but you nailed it a couple of times on Saturday. And of course, the way the defense is playing, how big is it to end a drive knowing even if you're not getting touchdowns, you can get some points out of that and you turn things over to your defense with the lead?
Well, a couple weeks ago, we talked about ending every drive with a kick, and I think on Saturday we were able to do that for the first time in a long time. So, if you can end every drive with a kick, that gives you an opportunity to play your best type of football, complementary football, and give you a better chance of winning the game.
There was one drive that you didn't technically end with a kick. You got a touchdown, and then you ended up going for a 2-point conversion. It was a really fun play. Isaac Hatfield ended up getting the touchdown catch from Grayson Barnes. How long have you been waiting to work that one into a game?
We've been working on it for about 3 weeks. And the situation didn't dictate up until Saturday. We scored a touchdown and was up, 5 and wanted to go up 7. And I thought that was an excellent opportunity to break that out.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot of fun. It helped the team to the win, which makes you 4-2 going into, I think, one game that from the beginning of the season has been circled on a lot of people's calendar. Always a big game for Toledo coming up this week. Both teams are coming in with winning records. They're coming in after a loss against Buffalo, so they're going to be very hungry. What have you seen from Toledo, and what are you expecting this week?
Yeah, I mean, good football team in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. They have really, really good players, and they're going to come in here ready to play. But for us, it's all about us, our preparation, how we play, our attention to detail, our focus, our energy, and then go out there and play our best football. And I was really pleased with how our guys came out to practice this morning. I thought they had an urgency about them, a pep in their step, and we want to make sure we had a competitive maturity to play better on Saturday than we have a couple weeks back.
Toledo is always a big game, so it's not like you need a lot of extra motivation for this one, but it's also homecoming week. You, of course, have been a longtime coach here at this program, but you're more than that. You're also an alum here at NIU. What does homecoming week mean to you?
Well, homecoming is obviously a great time for the university, people celebrating where they went to school, coming back. And obviously, from a football standpoint, you obviously want to play your best game on homecoming and show people what you are and what you're about and how you play the game and do things the right way. So it'll be a lot of excitement. Hopefully, it's a sold out Husky Stadium. And then our guys come out and play the way we know how to play.
Yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of other people are as well. Coach Thomas Hammock, thank you as always for your time, and we're looking forward to the big one on Saturday.
Thank you, and go Huskies.
Before we bring in our next guest, I want to mention a few special pricing deals that are coming up for Saturday's game. First of all, Eastside General Admission tickets are available this week for just $11.70. That's 117 to celebrate the 117th homecoming celebration at NIU. So $11.70 for Eastside GA tickets. And then on the west side of the stadium, the welcome backpack includes 4 West Side Reserve tickets plus a Stevenson Lawn parking pass for only $125. That's the lot right across from the baseball field. There is a limited quantity of these tickets available, so be sure to call as soon as possible, 815-753-PACK or 815-753-7225. You can also order online at niuhuskies.com/tickets. And without any further ado, I would like to welcome in our next guest here on NIU Weekly. And this is going to be one of the newest members of the NIU athletic staff, Associate Athletic Director for Development, Dom Parisi. Dom, really excited to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I am great. I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me.
Let's learn a little bit about Dom Parisi. Tell us about yourself. How long have you been here at NIU and what brought you to DeKalb?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. Moved down to the Carolinas when I was in 5th grade, so lived most of my life in the Carolinas. Was recruited to wrestle at Appalachian State University. That's my alma mater. Wrestled there for 5 years. Got into coaching at the Division I level as soon as I finished my bachelor's and master's degrees. Coached for about 3 years and then made the jump to the development side of college athletics, where I worked there for a few years, did a stint at the University of Wyoming, went back to Appalachian, and then came here to NIU about 2 months ago. So I am brand new to the team. Came up here to continue my career in college athletics and also be with my fiance, where we're going to start our family here in December. So exciting times.
And obviously, you have been around college athletics for a long time. So you really know what we're going to talk about, raising money for the athletics department as we go on in this interview. But obviously, you know where that money is going because it's something that you've been involved with for a long time. How did you make the decision to get into the line of it that you're in right now?
Yeah, it's a great point, and that's something I talk about a lot, right? Like I've been a student athlete, I've been a coach, and now I'm an administrator at this level. So I've seen the impacts of donations in many, many different ways, which really kind of shapes how I am as a fundraiser. The donations from all of our different supporters, whether you're a fan or alumni, they really do go a long way. And the student athlete experience, and then post graduation, how their experience shapes them into who they are in their career, parenthood, you name it. So yeah, I think I've got a pretty unique perspective on college athletics and the impact of different sports.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks because you're working with donors and you're working with the Huskie Athletic Fund. Next week is one of the biggest weeks of the entire year for your department. Tell us a little bit about Huskies Invest. What is it? What is the week of giving? And what is the importance of this for NIU athletics and for NIU student athletes?
Yeah, so Huskies Invest is our week of giving. It's a week-long campaign, goes from October 21 through October 25th. So Monday of next week is when we will kick off this campaign. Our goal is to raise $1 million, and that will be through 1,250 gifts. So we're hoping to bring in $1 million, 1,250 gifts to basically recognize and honor our 125 years of NIU athletics for that anniversary. You can support many different areas. You can support all of our sports. You can support nutrition. You can support academic services. So there's a lot of areas, right, that you can, again, donate to that might interest you. So a lot of different things that you can do. We've got our website built out. I'm actually looking at it right now. We actually already have $7,000 in the door from early donors through 34 gifts. So we've got a long ways to go. But again, this is a vital fundraising campaign that we do every single year that drastically impacts our athletic department and our student athlete experience along with our coaches and staff.
You talked about some of the different areas that people can donate to, and it's great that everybody can determine to some extent what specifically is my money actually going to? What am I helping out with here? When you look at some of the different areas, are there any specifically that you feel are in need of more donations than some others?
Great question. Yes and no, right? When you come to the website, you're going to be scrolling through. I think we've got 28 different um, titles that you can give to here. Again, from sports, Women's Excellence Fund. There's a lot of different areas that you can give. And I think as a supporter, it's really what stands out to you, right? What's going to pull you in to make a donation. So, to direct people to give, I say just give to what interests you most. But that being said, the Huskies Athletic Fund is our general fund. So that is money that we can use and disperse anywhere throughout the entire athletic department, right? So that's at the discretion of our athletic director, where he can really push out that needs it most. So you've got the Huskie Athletic Fund, which is our general fund, right? The foundation of our budget, but then you've got everything else that you can support. And if there's an area that stands out to you more than one, then that's where you should give your money.
You mentioned the actual numbers a little bit earlier, what your goals are, and they're big numbers. So I want you to repeat them again, and I want you to just talk a little bit about how do you go about getting to those numbers?
Right. So again, our goal is $1 million raised by the end of this week of giving, and we would like to hit 1,250 gifts, again, to honor the 125 years of NIU athletics. How we're going to get there, I mean, that's on us, right? We're hopefully putting in the proper legwork, really getting the word out to all of our alumni and fans, using campus, using all the different resources that we have to really push out this week of giving to all of our alum, to everybody that supports NIU athletics and wants to see this athletic department thrive and keep a national status that we have from the success that we currently have from all of our student athletes. So hopefully we do a good job on getting the word out about Huskies Invest. But yeah, calling on everyone to support this campaign because it's a big impact on the lives of our student athletes. Can't say that enough.
Well, I'll give you a chance to get the word out right now. How exactly do people give, and where can they go to make sure that their donations can find the right location?
Yes, you can call the Huskie Athletic Fund, or you can go to huskieathleticfund.com. That'll have a pop-up box that takes you directly to our giving link as well. We're going to have a lot of different pop-ups on many of our websites. So really anything that deals with NIU athletics that you go to, you will see something about Huskies Invest that will direct you to the main donation page. But if you want to make it easy, just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we will definitely be able to help navigate you on how to best direct your funds.
Dom Parisi, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Best of luck. I know this is going to be a stressful week coming up for you. So I certainly hope it's all working out very well. And I know you've made a very good case for donating to NIU. So thanks for joining us here on NIU Weekly.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's always great to catch up with head coach Thomas Hammock, and of course, great to have Dom Parisi on the show today as well. But before we sign off, we're going to take a look at what is going on in Husky land this week, because it's another good week of fall sports here at NIU. Actually, a lot of the action this week is on the road. Starting Thursday evening, the volleyball team is at Eastern Michigan. That game is on ESPN Plus. But we have some home action this week, particularly on the soccer side of things. Women's soccer takes on Eastern Michigan Friday afternoon, and that is at home here at NIU. And then Saturday as well, men's soccer takes on Evansville. That's a 7 o'clock start time at the soccer and track and field complex. So make sure you stop by that one, because that should be starting right after the football game ends. And obviously, we know football is taking on Toledo on Saturday afternoon. So that should be a lot of fun, a big day of sports action at NIU on Saturday. Other teams that are in action: volleyball takes on Central Michigan up in Mount Pleasant on Friday evening. Women's cross country is in Peoria, and women's golf goes down to San Marcos, Texas for the Jim West Challenge. That'll be Sunday and Monday. Finally, let's look ahead to the beginning of next week. Tuesday, volleyball is at Western Michigan. So they're making the whole circuit. Eastern on Thursday, Central on Friday, and then Western on Tuesday. So big week for volleyball over the next 7 days. That's going to do it for today's episode of NIU Weekly. Thanks as always for tuning in and for supporting the show. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like our videos, and always come back next week. We'll have more on the way. Thanks again to Thomas Hammock and Dom Parisi from the Huskie Athletic Fund as we get ready for Huskie Invest next week. Be sure to head to the website at niuhuskies.com/HuskiesInvest24 to see all of the giving options. That's going to do it for me for today, but I will be back on the call on Saturday afternoon, along with Andy Garcia on play-by-play and Mark Window on color. We'll be on 94.9 WDKB for the start of homecoming broadcast. 2 o'clock will be on the air, 2:30 for the kickoff. The game will also be on TV on ESPN Plus. More NIU Weekly coming up next week. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for now. Thanks for tuning in. Go Huskies.